hosting a kids global stock investing camp around 2 p.m., teaching parents and children to actually choose a portfolio for themselves, for the kids. So let's begin. Today's a free class. I'm going to give a preview of what this is all about. So definitely the best gift is the one that keeps on giving. So Sonic the Hedgehog says that he will give you memes. So there will be no mistletoe, no kissing of the princess variety. Mario can keep that. These are some of the stock ideas that we actually believe would be great gifts for your children. Disney, Garena, Shopee, Shake Shack, Roblox, Unity, Activision Blizzard, Ragnarok, which is Gravity, Miniso, Airbnb, Nvidia, Douyu, SoftBank, Nike, Bilibili, Google, Facebook, SoftBank, which owns TikTok, Pinterest. Of course, you've got your Arcimoto, you've got Delivery Hero, which owns your Food Panda. You've got Sony PlayStation, Microsoft Xbox, Nintendo Switch. You can buy your children Nike gifts, and of course H&M apparel for your stocks and also for clothing. So these are just some ideas, and we will explain why your children will benefit. Number one, we read to you an article about an investor that inherited 7,000 shares of Apple. This was published August 23, 2020. And the internet has advice on what he should do now. On that day, Apple achieved a 2 trillion market cap. And this is what he said, to hold or not to hold. This is a question from a guy that learned that his deceased grandfather, so his grandpa, left him 7,000 shares of Apple. Those were actually earmarked for his college in 2003. And when the Reddit poster enlisted in the military, the person actually said that he can't understand how his grandpa actually gave him $3 million. So that is an amazing gift by the grandpa to the child. Take note that assumed that at that point in time, Apple was trading at about $467.50. That would be divided by 4 because right now, Apple is trading 100. So there was a stock split, definitely. So actually, there was about, if my recollection is correct, there has been 225 stock splits in Apple's history. Either way, what you should understand is that that stake of 7,000 shares of Apple is something that I think any grandfather could have done year 2003 to their children. So why don't you actually give the gift of investing? So actually, this one is saying, what I need to do, should I keep on rolling all of my Apple shares? And then, guys, this is Apple. In 1980 to 2020, Apple is, of course, turning many people life-changing. It's not a 100-bagger. You call it a 1500X. So it's not a 10X. It's a 1500X. So Apple is an American multinational company headquartered in Cupertino, California. Designs, develops, sells consumer electronics, computer software, online services. It is considered one of the big technology companies alongside Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Facebook. Indeed, if you invested in 1980, around 40 years ago, $10,000 would have ballooned to $15 million. Take note that the grandfather invested 7,000 shares, which has now ballooned to $3.2 million. At that point in time, around year 2003, I think Apple shares was trading. I can't remember what is. I think it was about $10. So yeah, so 70,000 became $3.2 million or 400x. Yes, 400 plus x. So actually, in movies and films, if you recall, it says here in a 2015 article, Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks' character, actually said that how his partner, Lieutenant Dan, invested his shrimp boat business money in some kind of fruit company. That fruit company turned out to be Apple Computer, and that was year 1994. That film's timeline is hard to pinpoint, but Business Insider presents a fascinating insight pegged into Forrest Gump's investment, one that illustrates the power of what many may consider a very risky investment back then. The comment on that fruit company is actually wide-ranging because some people said that Apple didn't go public until late 1980. So Business Insider asked people, what actually did Forrest Gump do? So Forrest Gump turns out to have actually invested in Apple. And if he invested, assuming $10,000, From 1980 to 2015, that was 2.5 million. If he rolled on to that, his 2.5 million is now at 15 million, so 6x. Even if you actually invested in Apple just 5 years ago, your money actually ballooned 600%. So times six, meaning your 2.5 million is $15 million. If you don't believe me, well, this is the value of a $10,000 investment at Apple's IPO. And this is the stock chart of Apple. You could see that in 2015, it was somewhere here. It's trading something roughly in the $20 region, and it's now trading at about $120 or times six your money. So if you had $2.5 million here, multiply that by six, who's lying? Me or you? The chart doesn't lie. It's $15 million, okay? Now, let's begin. Of course, some grandparents actually gave their children Amazon shares. Take note that Amazon held its IPO on the NASDAQ on May 15, 1997 at a price of $18 per share. $10,000 invested on that day would be actually worth $16 million as of November 27, 2020, 23 years after. That is 1,600x. Yes, you heard me right. It is not a 10x, it is not a 100x, it is not a 1,000x, it is a 1,600x. What does that mean, guys? It doesn't make, you don't need to be a millionaire to become a billionaire. All you need is $10,000, invest in the right companies, and Amazon and Apple truly made some of the people richer than Warren Buffett, even if they weren't as good as Warren Buffett. This is Apple. That was Amazon, $10,000 to $16 million. The key insight, of course, is to get these companies on IPO and really get the runway, the growth, and all that growth in the next 20 years. Hold investments, hold winners for not a day, but decades. You cannot make the money, the life-changing 100 baggers, if you aren't holding for more than a decade. That is the lesson, a decade. So let's talk about Shopee, guys. Sea Limited, the rapid expansion of e-commerce in Southeast Asia. We actually gave a free Friday class pick on Sea Limited, the Peranakan version of Tencent. And as this class always tells you, it's always free every Friday, 1 hour a day. And I hope that you use that 1 hour to change your life in a powerful manner, because Awesome 10X truly wants you, Filipino or non-Filipino, to actually not just make some money, but actually make 10X your money. That is why the title of the show is Nikki Yu's Awesome 10X. So I do really hope that you will 10X in your lifetime. And my goal is to help you achieve your awesome 10X portfolio. So in that 1 hour video, we actually discussed why we like Sea Limited, even at the price of $50, and why we kept on believing that it was going to be a long-term secular winner. And until today, Sea Limited trades at 177. We still keep our Sea Limited shares because we know that one day, if it was like a 500 shares or 50 times 500, 25,000 shares, $25,000, that $25,000 could one day become $250,000. It could even become $100, $1 million. And those are the things that we kind of like to do in our portfolios, and what we want you to learn and to do in your portfolio. Buying and making money while sleeping, because we've got great companies that we don't want to sell, even if at 100%. In fact, when Sea Limited was trading at about 110, 115, we even opined to buy more shares and more Sea Limited shares because we want to keep it for long term. So I definitely want you to watch our videos because you can actually make so much money even if you're just a free Friday class member. Okay? All right. So this is Sea Limited. It got listed 2017 at the price of $16. It actually was misunderstood by the market. Take note that Sea Limited, the reason why we said that it was the Peranakan version of Tencent, it's because it's not just a Shopee, but it's also a really huge Garena. And it's a really huge video game Southeast Asian conglomerate, similar to a Tencent. So we view this company really a three-headed monster. It's a three-headed monster because you've got C Limited's Garena, you've got C Limited's Shopee, and you've got C Limited's C Money. And you're operating in six great populations. We're talking about the Southeast Asian market. That market is Singapore, Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand. So definitely, we do think that this 600 million population is growing in numbers, and this is the best way to make some money, not just small money, but seriously huge money if you simply know how to invest for your children, for your grandchildren. Do it as a gift so that by one time when your child becomes 20 years old, he will be similar to that grandpa story wherein his 7,000 shares or $70,000 ended up becoming $3 million. Do you want to give that gift to your children? I sure hope you will. So of course, right now, it's already at least 10x for the people who got in at about $16. It's now 177. For those who are still looking to buy these shares, I'd say that even at $160 is already a good entry price for you guys. And I'm not sure if you will get in, but I hope that you could. Now, of course, your children don't know much about stock market. So what they do know is that when I was a child, I remember I loved eating and eating and eating. And so I want you to share the love of food to your children and know that these stocks, these food that your children consume are actually listed entities. From the likes of Yum China, which is the owner of KFC, Pizza Hut, and a lot more in China. Of course, your Jollibee isn't just the owner of Jollibee. For the Filipinos out here, you know that Jollibee owns so many industries. It owns your Tim Ho Wan. Sorry, it's not different industries. It's all quick service restaurants, but it's all related to food, whether it be Chowking, whether it be Greenwich Pizza, whether it be Coffee Bean Tea Leaf, whether it be Tim Ho Wan, whether it be Smash Burger, and so forth. So your Jollibee is actually a conglomerate. And of course, you can say, even if your children aren't still drinking coffee, I remember that children can drink some Frappuccino that is chocolate. So of course, Starbucks is still a kiddie stock camp. McDonald's is still a kiddie stock camp. Take note that McDonald's is the fast food revolution leader in the world. And even until today, these are some great companies that your children can benefit for the long run. Now, how about Shake Shack? Yes, Shake Shack has just opened in Beijing, China, and they're actually opening in multiple countries. If you want to get more upside, you go for the smaller entities before they become global. So definitely, Jollibee and Shake Shack are smaller in nature than your McDonald's and Starbucks. Your Burger King is part of QSR, quick service restaurant, also a great pandemic reopening play, but also a great secular long-term play. These restaurants as a whole, we like them, steady discipline. They've got a lot of culture and franchise system ahead of them. And definitely, whether you are a fan of pizza, cheeseburgers, soft drinks and snacks, take note about these companies. Pepsi owns all of your children's snacks, whether it be Lay's potato chips, Cheetos, Doritos, Ruffles. Those are all listed via Pepsi. It is listed in the US. Now, of course, all of these names are listed in the US except for Jollibee and URC. URC, of course, owns your Jack and Jill. Owns not just Jack and Jill snacks, but actually owns a lot more. They own something that's distributed in New Zealand and Australia, the Griffin snacks, and so forth. For those who want to know a deep dive of these individual companies, Awesome 10X actually is willing and inviting you to actually join us in our website. You just go to www.awesome10x.com. Most of these company picks are actually covered in depth. So example, like URC, we have a deep dive. Jollibee, we have a deep dive. Shake Shack, we have a deep dive. QSR, McDonald's, those have deep dives. So now take a look. So there's a lot of companies that's actually becoming a big hit. It's called Beyond Meat. So Beyond Meat is partnering with so many of your fast food chains. your children might benefit not just with fast food, but also being a flexitarian. Now, what does a flexitarian mean? It means that they are vegetarian, but they're also carnivorous. It's flexible. That's why it's flexitarian. They're not necessarily vegan, but they want to try and eat those plant-based meat. Now, most of these plant-based meat are headlined by your Beyond Meat category. Although, yes, Nestle has their awesome burger. Although, yes, Kellogg's has their own brand. It's called Incognito, which are actually good companies that you can also put on your children's long-term portfolio. Take note that Kellogg's isn't just selling Kellogg's or Kellogg's cereal. Kellogg's is actually an owner of many, many companies, including Pringles, including a lot of snack food and so forth. Similarly, Conagra Foods, I didn't put that in the brand, but I actually like that company too. Conagra Foods owns a lot of snacks that I'm pretty sure your children must have eaten with or without your knowledge. So Hershey's, of course, every child loves chocolates. And Hershey's owns M&Ms. They're actually listed in the New York Stock Exchange. KFC is, of course, Yum Brands. So you could actually get either Yum Brands or Yum China, which is just a spin-off of Yum. So you can just get a Chinese-centric Pizza Hut and Chinese-centric KFC, or simply Yum Brands, which owns everything ex-China. Of course, I put Beyond Meat there and Beyond Fried Chicken for the kids to know that there is a huge plant-based meat trend that's going to be a very huge hit in the next decade and next decades ahead. And so we want your children positioned in the biggest secular trends of the world. So, of course, you have to teach your children how to play chess or how to play games. So what are the games that we have to play for the children? Maybe some people love the physical games, but most of the children loves a lot of toys. And let me just share to you that this is also a great company that can be given to your child. Miniso is, of course, a very well-known brand. It actually just listed in the market. And Miniso has collaboration with everyone from the likes of Marvel, Cartoon Network. And we actually have a huge deep dive on Miniso this last October as an IPO and as a category of discount retailers and variety. So this is a free invite for all of you to actually check out Awesome 10X every month. Every single day, we actually feature Awesome 10X companies and do a deep dive so that you can know what Miniso does for you, for your portfolio, and for your entire children's future. Okay. So there's so many kids camp categories that we want to share for you and your child. Or of course, the children today, unlike before that we play board games like chess and checkers, there is such a thing as video games. So inside the video games, we're going to discuss all the kiddie companies that your children loves. Tell your children to choose what he loves so that you can buy that to your child, not your pick. Let your child pick, okay? Movies and entertainment, we're going to give you an assortment of movies and entertainment for your children. Apparel, fashion, athleisure, and e-commerce for the kids who love shopping even early on. Even if that 7-year-old kid is just 7 years old, you can tell if that child loves to be in fashion, loves to wear makeup. We've got a lot of great companies in that category. Now, of course, if that child, even as an early 7-year-old, you can already tell that he loves to eat a lot of food. If you have a foodie child, we can say that your child would probably identify with some great global franchises, chocolates, soft drinks, snacks, and food that we believe are going to be great additions to your kids' camp portfolio. So that's really a function of what we're trying to do on the kids' camp. So in the video game category, of course, these companies are some of the names that we actually already gave a deep dive with. So I'll just read some of them for you. Of course, you've got Tencent, Unity, Roblox, Playway, Sumo Group, Take-Two, Sony PlayStation, Microsoft Xbox, Nintendo Switch, NetEase Games, Garena, which is your C Limited, Razer, Logitech, Douyu, Bilibili, Nvidia, 11-Bit Studios, Activision Blizzard, Creepy Jar, Bloober, CD Projekt. I'm pretty sure there are more video games that I haven't that I haven't written in this entire slide. But definitely, what we want your children and you to do is to actually build a portfolio together. Because we don't want you to like just put Roblox there if your child doesn't want Roblox. We want you to actually tell your child to choose for yourself and for themselves, even if they choose something that you may or may not agree with. So definitely, all of these stocks are companies that we have a deep dive with, which is why we want to tell the viewers out there to actually just enter Awesome 10X. And we find that we really want you guys to go into the kids camp, especially for the parents out there, because instead of giving that ampao, you might as well parlay $100 and $200. Let's say you don't have $7,000. Even if it was just $100, if 70,000 became 3.2 million, that means that even 7,000 became $320,000. And let's assume even if 7,000 just became 70,000, let's just say $100 went $1,000, a 10x move. Even if it was just a 10x move, I'm pretty sure that you taught your child something in the realm of saving and investing that will benefit that child for life. So you're really giving that child the gift of owning Nintendo stock, not just owning the Nintendo Switch upon Christmas. So start it early, even if that child is just 6 years old or 7 years old. I know that there is a custodian. I took a look at the US on how it is. For the Filipinos out here, you might as well just make something like a trust fund or something, like you just manage it for them, or you just have a conversation with your child that you make a sub account. Let's say Nikki you has a child, so Nikki you 1, then Nikki you 2. The 2 is for the child. So whatever that parent is, you make a sub account for your children, so that in the next 10 to 20 years, your child's trust fund is already more than $1 million. And actually, he doesn't need to go to college anymore, because he has so much money that he doesn't really have to think much, right? So he can just invest for the best companies and have an awesome 10x life. All right. That was very short, but I'm gonna share to you things about the awesome 10x life that you are missing out. You're missing out. So let's give you a free deep dive on a class that I really love. Okay. So let's go to the awesome 10x life-changing 100 baggers. So most of the people in the awesome 10x already are aware of these companies, but you know, because you're new, I'll still give you a few preview on it. Life-changing 100 baggers. I'm not sure if I put it here. Wait up. Risk rewards. Was it here? Can't remember if I put it here. Wait, I'm just gonna check. But I know I have like 176 slides. It's an old slide, but it will help everyone here. No worries. It's not this one. I'm gonna share to you the Awesome 10x system, so that you can actually use that to help your children make a lot of money. Awesome 10x system. Okay, wait. I'll just. I don't think I did it. It's not here. It's in a different. It's a different slide. Give me some time. Wait up. While I'm doing that, okay, no worries. Not a problem. I think I have it in some. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Life-changing 100 baggers. I put it here. It was because it's like 167 slides. Here. Let me see if it's here. Yeah, it's here. Okay. So this will be a repeat of a lot of my concepts that I really teach every parent or every child to learn. Okay, done. I'm going to present this again to repeat it in your head. That long-term investing doesn't mean keeping your eyes closed. It is actively tracking while passively holding. If the buy decisions are correct, selling becomes infrequent. Frequent selling is a reflection of poor buy decisions. So for instance, if you already put $100 of your child's Santa gift, Santa Christmas gift for C Limited, let's assume that you wanted to give your children the video game conglomerate. For those who aren't aware, C Limited is the owner of Garena. Garena owns most of your Free Fire. They actually also are the publisher for your Dota, League of Legends, etc. So it is a really great company, and a lot of shopping occurs on your Shopee, of course, beating out your Lazada, Tokopedia, not just in the Philippines but also in Indonesia. So that's the reason why I love this quote by Dean Musak. He said that if the decisions to buy are correct, the meaning of selling becoming infrequent is that all the reasons to own it are there. Even if it was like 100% higher, another 100% higher, a great company will continue to win and continue to win because they are dominating the market shares that they are in. So those are the concepts that a great Awesome 10X investor and a great Awesome 10X parent has to know in order to give the gift of proper stocks for your children's 10-year future, 20-year future. Okay, so this is the reason why we said to invest quarterly with a business focus in at least 12 quarters and at least 20 high-quality companies in secular unstoppable trends. Add only on winners, never on losers. So actually, the truth is, when we make a Santa gift package, it's not really just one stock. Definitely, Awesome 10X likes the parent to actually have at least several trends for your children's portfolio. Now, you might say, na this child might have to end up getting a 50,000 peso gift package so that we can actually get a better, proper structure of that portfolio. $100 for 10 names is good enough for us to actually identify very strong secular trends that your children can benefit from. For instance, in e-commerce, some parents love to give as a gift Shopify, and definitely Shopify has continued to be the gift that kept on giving. Shopify went from something like $18, it's now trading at $1,100. So those are the companies that we do believe in the secular trend, and we want your children to actually benefit on these types of companies. And that was like a great, amazing company in 5 years, but what's the next 10 years gonna be? Even better, even more amazing. It also happened for your Mercado Libres, which was $7, and now it's at about 1,000. Right now, so this was 7 to 811 years. Actually, in the 12th year, it's already $7 to $1,300. So it's another gift that keeps on giving. Of course, Pintuoto was also a gift that keeps on giving. Some of us actually gave our children or ourselves, not really our children, we gave ourselves the gift of investing by owning Pintuoto at 20. 16.5 to 70. Actually, in this 2020, Pintuoto has already reached something like $150. So another double. So definitely, it is a 10X company in the last 3 years. We think that any dips on these great companies are actually great additions for people who just want to give the gift of shopping and e-commerce to that child. So ZTO Express, of course, is also a great company helping your Alibaba. 11 to 33 in 3 years' time. We actually have more delivery picks. We actually put a while ago in the picture, if you recall, a delivery hero. So we actually have those deep dives for you on the Food Panda. Of course, JD 20 to 50. JD is now actually trading at $85. So also another nearing a double. So the beautiful thing is that for the parents who bought this JD at about December 2019, so I bought this somewhere at about $26 during that time. This was June, but even during about December last year, it was something like $30, $32. You still gave that child the gift of another double for their investments. So we definitely want your children to make money. So we are helping you to identify stocks that will benefit your children. Of course, just for some storytelling, Target, which is a supermarket, had an IPO around $34 in October 1967. If you actually bought this Target around that time, 1967, 53 years ago, your investment at $34 per share will already be worth $12,000, $420. That was about when I was making this class, it was about May 28, 2020. I think Target right now is trading at 170. So that 12,000 went 30% up again. So around 15,000. So $34 is $15,000. Or to put it into perspective, $34 at 15,000 is around 500x. Yeah. So it's, or is it 50x? 500x. So your $1,000 is $500,000. So definitely giving the gift to your children is something that you may not actually you may not want to pass out this opportunity that we are sharing to all of you. Definitely, I was also sharing on my own Twitter profile. My Twitter, guys, is @FaceTrader. I said there that actually the Walton family was a better capital asset allocator rather than Mr. Warren Buffett. Because Walmart, actually, if you just simply invested on their IPO, $5,000 to $74 million, is the money that you'll make in 50 years. So that these are amazing companies. And you might say that I've missed out on Walmart, Apple, Amazon, and so forth. You missed out on all of these names. The thing is, even if you missed out on them, I want to tell you that there aren't a scarcity of great companies in the US. So example, if you missed Amazon, knowing that Etsy was e-commerce of handcraft vintage, it was 7 to 70 or 10x move in 4 years. However, this year, it was still up another 100%. 70 actually gave an entry this year around May. I was opining to actually buy Etsy at $45. Today, Etsy trades at about, today Etsy trades around $140. So actually, you're seeing this this May, let's backtrack there. You're actually seeing a lot of January and May files because these were actually some of my profile slides given to Awesome 10X members. And I was telling them that these were the companies that I wanted them to give as a gift to their children or to themselves. So yeah, Etsy was a pick of mine. I also said that C Limited was a pick of mine. I was giving a pick of mine on Etsy and C Limited even at 10. Well, I wasn't really there at 10 because I wasn't studying C Limited then. To be honest, we entered this one at about $40 already. Some entered 40, 50, 60, 80, 110. But definitely, this is a great company. So yeah, you could see that this is a company that we continue to make money from. So while others was like 100% up, C Limited is something like 400% up for the year. So one of our really happy companies that we want to just handhold and keep. Farfetch was actually my dark horse pick. Yes, I gave this on January. Right now, actually, Farfetch is trading at $40. Farfetch is the e-commerce of Off-White. So those who like luxury retailers, so yeah, I studied this company and actually gave it as a it was one of my January, December picks last year for the Christmas season and the New Year season. Take note that Chinese celebrate the New Year around February. So actually, I was also opining that, parents can actually give to their children for the New Year these great companies. So Pinterest was also a buy on my end at 18, 19. Actually, during the pandemic, Pinterest went as low as 12. I still opine to buy at 12. And right now, Pinterest is trading at $66. One of the great moves of this year. Ocado was also a pick. These are all e-commerce names. Of course, I also gave some software as a service names. These might not be a great kiddie camp thing unless your kid is already becoming the future. I don't know which coder they want to be. So they want to be like an Elon Musk, or they want to be an engineer, or they want to be a scientist, or but definitely some of the best enterprise softwares to own for your children would be Atlassian. And Atlassian was something like 20 to 150 in 3 years time, 2016 till 2019. That was my my slide. But this year, Atlassian is $200 if my memory is correct. It wasn't a double, but it was still a great company nonetheless. The ticker symbol is TEAM. Of course, DocuSign. this isn't too kiddie, I know, but these were some online signature trends. Definitely your children would agree to some papers someday, and those would have to be done online. And so DocuSign are also some great companies. I would stop you right there because this is actually not a slide for children. I'm gonna get the children categories to make it more in theme. Wait up. So my kid categories were fast food. Yep, fast food for fast casual and yeah. So this one. So actually, your children will benefit on these topics. So for the athletic child, instead of buying that athlete, just a Nike rubber shoes, why don't you also consider buying him Nike shares? So Nike shares, if you notice, is actually a 10x company because of Athleisure, direct to consumer, and definitely e-commerce, right? So of course, it was listed something in 1981 and continues to dominate everyone. The market share of Nike is larger than Adidas and larger than Puma. Nonetheless, we think that actually Nike was a buy this year because of the pandemic play. The pandemic allowed some people to get Nike as low as $70. So some of the people took advantage of that drop. But right now, Nike is already $140, $130. It's up 20% for the year. However, in my view, even if it will not double next year, it's still a great company for the parent who just wants his child to have something that he can identify with, like a rubber shoe, of course, or an apparel, and athleisure, of course, a very very huge trend in the next decades ahead. So Nike is, of course, still an awesome 10x pick, even if it's not like a 10x name. Even so, when I say it's not a 10x name, if you buy it at 100, I'm not sure if it's gonna go $1,000. So there are companies that I believe are more 10x in nature. There are some companies that I think are 1x and 2x in nature, even if you wait for 10 years. So this is also a great 10x name, Puma. It's also in the athleisure era. The best thing was actually to buy it at about $25 when Matt Shaw came in and helped the company from really a digital transformation turnaround. And I know a lot about the companies that I give a pick on, but this is not a channel to explain. This 1 hour class today is not me to discuss Nike or Puma or why Adidas, etc. So I'm just like giving you surface analysis today, right? But you could see that these companies are truly going up infinitely. Not infinitely, but any dips have always been met with buyers, pandemic, reopening, etc., because they have a real secular reason to be bought. So of course, fast food, fast casual, and franchises, these are companies that I said in the next 10 years, I said that there will be autonomous delivery robots. They will be growing 50%. And that would actually be the advent of your Uber Eats, your DoorDash, your Grubhub, your Postmates. That will all significantly boost the sales of the restaurants. Actually, in that vein, my 10x idea there is Delivery Hero. So actually, I discussed a huge 1 hour discussion on why Delivery Hero is really wonderful. It's trading in Europe. So Delivery Hero is in Germany, and it is actually one of the best companies when it comes to augmenting all these restaurants around the world to actually enable all these restaurants to continue to live pre and post pandemic, during pandemic and post pandemic. So of course, right now, when you're analyzing restaurants, you have to identify whether they are really ready for the digital ordering revolution, and they have to be ready for the ghost kitchen. So if they are doing that, there will be higher profits. Just for some understanding, your McDonald's in the last 60 years went from 15 cents to $220. Actually, this year, when you take a look at McDonald's chart went from $220 all the way to $130 during pandemic, has since recovered to $200. So it's actually just almost flat this year, which is normal because restaurants as a sector are not the best companies during pandemic to own. Nonetheless, it was actually a great buying opportunity during the pandemic. Is it a great buying opportunity even for the next decade? I'd say that it is a slower company if you want really a faster global behemoth to actually combat McDonald's, my answer would be a little bit on the Yum China side, and on the Beyond Meat side, on this Shake Shack. And I'll explain that. You can see that Yum China is more on the growth of the Chinese the middle class of China has been growing, necessitating further growth on Yum China and Starbucks. Hello. Gusto mo mag-hello? Okay, Dunkin' is actually 106 this year. I think there was an acquisition in Dunkin' brands. Shake Shack actually was a buy of a lifetime when it fell down this year to $30. Shake Shack actually fell from 100 all the way to $30. Right now, Shake Shack is trading at about $80. So I do think that the business trajectory of Shake Shack is better in the next 10 years rather than owning McDonald's. So why do I like it? It's a lot of reasons. You've got a great management, a lot of reasons why. It is a deep dive inside the inner circle. So I think instead of me explaining one company at a time, you really have to go to our classes to understand one company at a time. But yeah, so like definitely all of these great companies, your Haidilao hot pots, Haidilao is of course listed in China, and I think Haidilao went something like 300%. Now, Domino's Pizza is amazing. IPO 14, opened 11, sank to 3 during 2008 crisis, rallied to $300 2019. This year, it's up 20% again, 2020. It hit a high of about $400. So really, really strong company. Same for Chipotle. Chipotle was IPO 44, first day, 865 here after 13 years. Actually, Chipotle was up 50% this year. It's now trading at about $1,200. So really great businesses can endure over time. But the reason why Chipotle was better than all the rest of the fast food has been their priority on e-commerce to customer confidence. That was the reason why Chipotle and the Domino's Pizza had a bigger, they had an easier time to really shoot up very fast rather than the other companies. Nonetheless, I think that for companies like Shake Shack, they are actually doing well right now. They've already fixed all the deliveries. So those are interesting companies. QSR is actually the owner of Burger King, Tim Hortons, and Popeye's Kitchen. Yeah, so QSR is the owner. Actually, QSR is still trading at $60. Indeed, during the pandemic, it fell something like $40. But I think that these companies have a long runway ahead. If you want to give the gift of these companies, from the Coco Curries to even your Starbucks, then yeah, these are companies that you could see will never really end their trajectory of growth. So those are just some examples I will give to you. This I will try to discuss, even if we endure a long time in this slide. I'll explain to you more intently why these companies I felt were actually good gifts for your children. Okay, first and foremost, your child probably watches some cartoons. So he knows who Iron Man is. He probably knows Moana. I don't think a child doesn't know who Darth Vader is. So I think those children can identify who Mickey Mouse and Disney Plus is. The beautiful thing ahead is that in the next 10 years, Disney Plus will continue to dominate theme parks, media, entertainment. And of course, this is not a deep dive. The Streaming Plus is already 70 million subscribers launched this year. They opened that last year and then they continue to go further on streaming and streaming. Definitely Disney Plus right now, trading at $140, is still a great company to give as a gift to your child. So for those who are listening, all the parents out there, take like a sheet of paper, like just listen to me. So Disney sticker symbol is DIS. We have bought this already at $115, $125. It's now trading at $140. We do believe in cost averaging for your children because these are for the decade. So let's say December, Christmas, you want to give one share of Disney, that would be $140. On his birthday, you want to give him Garena, Connecting World Gamers, so that would be SE. want to give him one share of Garena, Garena would cost something like $170 today, but you can still give it if anyway it's long term. Nonetheless, if you could buy these at $150 below, that would be even better. So let's say that you are a lucky mom that you were able to buy some Garena at $150 below, and that's fine. Now, people might ask me, Google, what if I don't have $1,500 because Google is now trading, Google is now trading at about nearing $1,800. Of course, Google traded IPO $85. That would be about year 2005, or was it year 2006? Can't remember, guys, but you can check it out. Google actually listed in the market in the NASDAQ at $85. So nonetheless, so if you want to buy some Google, you don't have to worry. You can buy fractional shares. So that means that let's say you can only afford $200 worth of Google. So you're going to buy it even at $1,700, or let's say basically just 0.1 share. So even at 1.7, you're going to buy it 0.1 share. So the reason why we like Google is manifold. It's a big tech conglomerate. We do believe in the trends on wearables, digital advertising. We do believe that Google's Waymo is going to be a great self-driving assisted. It's called ADAS. ADAS, Assistance Driving Systems. Assistance driver systems. Basically, it's automated. You're not gonna drive. You let the car drive for you. Of course, Google owns your Waze and Waymo has that technology. Google is also doing cloud. A lot of reasons why to own Google, but I don't think I need to elaborate. This is not a class where I need to elaborate every single stock. Facebook, of course, so that would be one. So Facebook is another one share. Today, Facebook trades at about $270. That is still okay because I do believe that these companies are, of course, Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, they've all partnered together. So not partnered because they're all in one, like only one owner. So Facebook is really wonderful. You've got the digital advertising magnet. You're the digital advertising king. You are the owner of the entire social media space. You've got great numbers in your payment scheme. They have the Facebook Pay. Facebook, Instagram has integrated with Shopify for some e-commerce. And Facebook actually invested in Geo Platform also for e-commerce. We can go on and on why Zuckerberg is really wonderful, but I don't think that this is a show for just Facebook. Okay, this car is actually Arcimoto FUV. I do think that your child will one day want to have a great car. I think like Tesla is great company, but the reason why I put a different car here, actually I was thinking to put an Xpeng in this, yeah, I instead chose, I actually have Xpeng, but I also have Arcimoto. I just figured, okay, let's just put Arcimoto, one car for the child. You can buy an Arcimoto share right now for just $14. I do think that these are some 10x companies that you have to buy for your children. Maybe that child doesn't want a car right now, but I do think that the child will, want to have a fun vehicle and ticker symbol FUV, fun utility vehicle. That would be Arcimoto. You can learn more why I like these companies. So Garena and Shopee would be e-commerce, so that would be one. Of course, I think that the child will benefit immensely from investing in Shake Shack cheeseburgers because I think the Shake Shack cheeseburger is going to go global, similar to how McDonald's did. So even Shack at about 75 is still a great addition to your portfolio. So if you'll notice, Bilibili, for the Chinese parents out there, your child could be watching some Chinese cartoons or anime. Most likely they're watching it through bilibili.com. Bili is actually now trading at about $60. We have some clients who have Bili at $20. However, I do think that with Bili as the YouTube of China, I do think that Bilibili is a great addition to your portfolio. Pinterest, of course, you might say, but my child doesn't use Pinterest. I do think that the child at some point will be using these apps. Pinterest is, of course, growing 200, 300% CAGR. And I like the fact that Pinterest is doing similar to the Facebook stories, Instagram stories, and doing the e-commerce front very well. It isn't yet a powerhouse, but I think that these companies are actually going to benefit in the long run. So put a little by. So typically, if you'll notice in this slide, how many companies did I put here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, it's fine. So usually my magic number for parents is to give your children around at least 20 companies. So you might say, Nikki, if I'm gonna just buy $50 each, is that fine? That's also fine, because in the US there is no minimum to open a portfolio. So meaning the thing about it is that everything that you buy will cost $1. So if you bought like 20 stocks, then that's 20 times $1, that's $20 commission. And then if you bought like $1,000, meaning $50 each, then it's 50 times 20, or $1,000 plus $20. So you can set up an account with interactivebrokers.com. I will send my link if you want to open an account using my referral link. I think Interactive Brokers will give me a commission, a flat fee for every 15 people that I refer in a year. So like they have a limit, like even if I refer 100 people, they'll only just give me a maximum of 15 referrals. So far, because I didn't know about this commission scheme, I didn't even give my referral links for quite a long time, even if I have been promoting Interactive Brokers a long time. Now, why am I promoting Interactive Brokers? Number one, it's not about the commission. Actually, I've been using Interactive Brokers with or without the commission. I like using Interactive Brokers primarily because there's no minimum, there's fractional shares, there's just 1.59% interest a year if I ever want to use margin. They have everything, meaning when I buy a company there, I don't care if I'm buying it from Europe, from Sweden. So example, like H&M, it's actually listed in Stockholm, Sweden. So that means that I have to convert my dollars to Swedish kroner. I don't have to think about that if my account is actually a margin account, because Interactive Brokers will do that for me. For instance, Food Panda's Delivery Hero, it's actually trading in Europe. So I need euros. So actually that part, I don't really need to think about the conversion in euros. Interactive Brokers also does that for me. The good thing about the US is that in Interactive Brokers, I can actually access everything, including IPOs and SPACs. And these are the companies that I am very much interested to have for my child. It would be Roblox. It would be, of course, we really love Unity. And so Unity is a company that we have in our portfolios. Upcoming IPOs would be Roblox and Airbnb. Some companies here are IPOs like Miniso. We have Miniso, we have Unity. Nike and H&M, Activision Blizzard. For those parents who don't know Activision Blizzard, your children might be playing something like, if they are playing Counter-Strike, CSGO, if they are playing Call of Duty, if they're playing PUBG Mobile, those are Activision Blizzard. Or if they were playing World of Warcraft. So World of Warcraft or Hearthstone, those are Activision Blizzard. If your child was something like playing mobile games, chances are, even if they're playing Among Us, or they're playing League of Legends, or they're playing League of Legends Wild Rift, was actually made through Unity Engine. So those are the things that are actually your children would love, even if they don't know Unity yet, because they're just 7 years old. You can probably tell your child that your mom or your dad bought you a gift. It's your favorite game, which is, let's say your child is playing League of Legends or Fortnite. Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't put here. Tencent owns Epic Games, which created Fortnite. So yeah, so actually it is part in my video game portfolio a while ago, which actually a kid D gamer at heart would prefer his portfolio to have more. So actually this portfolio is just a sample portfolio for any parent who just wants his child to have a little bit mix of everything. So for the parents out there, take a look at this portfolio. What does this portfolio represent? Your kid's portfolio should represent the future. So in this picture alone, you could already see the following. You can see the streaming, You can see the streaming, connected TV secular trend. You could see that video games are a secular trend. You could see cloud computing. You could see social media, digital advertising. You could see a lot of e-commerce on this picture. You could see esports represented by your Douyu. You could see actually SoftBank Group. That is not a traditional bank. SoftBank is a big tech conglomerate that owns TikTok, that owns Nvidia, that owns Grab, that owns Didi Chuxing, that owns everything actually. So it represents a lot of the themes that we love: artificial intelligence. So even with just one single conglomerate, you can actually access all the great secular trends for your children's future. Now, Miniso is a great company that is also expanding, similar to all the great retailers out there. The beautiful thing about Miniso is that they don't just have a great franchising team with every country that they are partnered with. They also have a great e-commerce. So I love the company. I actually did a deep dive on this company. Roblox is also something that your children will definitely love. Roblox has over 40 million games. Similar to Unity, you can actually create games, not just play games. And so the teens who know how, the teenagers who know already how to create games could actually benefit owning a company that they truly believe and they truly play with and identify. Airbnb, of course, your child wants to travel. Chances are you are gonna book a Disneyland theme park for that child in the future. Chances are you may be booking your trip next year through Airbnb. So I want your children to also identify with a very good travel business and a travel tech platform, and that would be Airbnb. Of course, Nike, it represents here your D2C, direct to consumer. It represents Athleisure. Of course, H&M here will represent a little bit of apparel reopening. For those who aren't aware, H&M is the top 3 global clothing conglomerates in the world. And they are using a lot of data analytics to actually predict what you have to, but what you really want to enjoy wearing. So in my view, both the triopoly is H&M, Zara, and Uniqlo. And I like all of them. I just put it here, H&M, but actually I don't care whether you're buying that or that or that. So here in that picture, you could see a Food Panda shops. Indeed, I like what Food Panda is doing, not just food delivery, but actually deliver everything. Whether it's Food Panda, whether it's Dada Nexus, which I gave for free pick last Friday, which is actually up something like 50% already in a single week's time. Yeah, so I do believe that your portfolio for the child has to represent a lot of secular trends without having to elaborate sometimes whether they understand it or not. You as a parent, you probably need to know why, but the child just probably give an explanation that, okay, you know, these companies, etc. So the child probably knows Sony PlayStation, Ragnarok is represented by Gravity, GRVY, Nintendo Switch is Nintendo, and T-Doy, Microsoft Xbox is MSFT. And you know, so I know it may sound, I hope that my class was not complicated. But really, I really want your parents, as a parent, I don't have a child yet, but I do think that you know, eventually when we have children, or when you have children, or when you have existing children already, you know, those are the types of investments that you want to do as a present for yourself, for your children, for everyone. So yeah, there are so many companies that your kids would love to have. This is actually a kid-centric portfolio. I used to own almost all of these. In fact, even until today, this snapshot is actually, I'd say half of the companies inside this snapshot I actually own directly. So you could just say that my portfolio was a little bit kiddie portfolio. But yeah, so like I do believe in video games. I do believe that the sector is really growing and growing. And so most of these stocks I actually owned and continue to own until today. Yeah, so Logitech, Razer, Douyu, Garena through SE, Activision, Take-Two, Bloober, Creepy Jar, Sumo Group, Playway, Roblox. Yep. Unity, Tencent. I'm really excited on this IPO on Roblox. So definitely, I want all of you to attend Awesome 10X. So this is the last month of the year. We're gonna get into the December already, but that doesn't mean that you cannot make money. There's so many opportunities for all of you. Do check out the life-changing 100 baggers, the life-changing, even if it's not 100 baggers, even if it's just a 10X, would you wanna make a 10X for your portfolio? I sure hope that you will learn a lot on our classes. So please check us out. Go to www.awesome10x. Give the gift of global stocks as an awesome 10x gift to your kids. This December 2, it's a free parents orientation. And on December 5, this is the actual kids global stock investing camp. So we'll talk to your kids. We'll talk to you guys. We'll try to set up a portfolio that best expresses what your child and what you believe in. So the important thing here is long-term investing. It's not buying and selling tomorrow. It's actually holding for a decade. So I hope that we got you to be invested and inspired. And that ends today's class. Thank you very much.